Caracas, Venezuela, January 3, 2026. 2 a.m. local time. Nicolás Maduro is asleep in his bedroom inside a heavily fortified compound near Miraflores Palace. Steel-reinforced walls surround him. Armed guards patrol every entrance. A safe room sits 30 feet away, impenetrable, or so he believes. He's 63 years old, president of Venezuela for 12 years. Former bus driver, former union leader, now the most wanted man in the Western Hemisphere with a $50 million bounty on his head. He doesn't know it yet, but in less than 3 hours he'll be blindfolded on a U.S. Navy ship heading to New York to face charges of narco-terrorism. This is the story of how America captured a sitting president in the dead of night in less than 30 minutes. Let's go back to the beginning. Nicolás Maduro Moros is born into a working-class family. His father is a trade union leader. They live in a modest neighborhood, nothing special, nothing exceptional. Just another Venezuelan kid growing up in a country that doesn't yet know it's sitting on the world's largest oil reserves. Maduro attends public school at Liceo José Ábalos in El Valle. According to school records, he doesn't graduate. He drops out. No college, no university degree, no military training, no law school. He gets a job driving a bus. For years, that's what Nicolás Maduro is, a bus driver for the Caracas metro system. Route after route, stop after stop, the same streets, the same passengers, the same endless traffic of Caracas. But Maduro is different from other drivers. He talks, he organizes, he becomes a union leader. The other drivers listen to him. He has a gift for words, for speeches, for rallying people. Venezuela's intelligence agencies take notice. They identify him as a leftist radical with close ties to Cuba. They write in their reports. In 1986, Maduro travels to Cuba. He's 24 years old. For 1 year, he receives ideological instruction from the Castro government. This is his only formal education after high school. He returns to Venezuela, back to the buses, back to the union. But now he has a mission. Now he has a cause. He's waiting for something, someone. He doesn't have to wait long. In 1992, a young army paratrooper named Hugo Chavez stages a coup against the Venezuelan government. It fails. Chavez is thrown in prison. But something happens. The people don't forget him. They call him a hero. They call him the voice of the poor. Maduro sees his opportunity. He campaigns for Chavez's release. Day after day, speech after speech, free Chavez, free Chavez. He becomes part of the movement, the Bolivarian Revolution, and he meets someone else during this time. A young lawyer named Celia Flores. She's defending Chavez in court, brilliant, fierce, connected. She and Maduro begin a relationship that will last decades. It will take them both to the highest levels of power. And it will bring them both crashing down on a January night in 2026. In 1998, Chavez is released from prison. He runs for president. He wins in a landslide, and he remembers the bus driver who never stopped fighting for him. Maduro wins a seat in the National Assembly. The transformation begins. Bus driver becomes politician. Union leader becomes lawmaker. Nobody sees what's coming next. Before we continue, please take a moment to click the like button and subscribe. It helps the channel grow and allows us to keep bringing stories like this. In 2005, Maduro becomes president of the National Assembly. In 2006, Chavez appoints him foreign minister. The bus driver is now Venezuela's top diplomat. He travels the world, meets world leaders, shakes hands with Putin, embraces Castro, defies Washington. He becomes Chavez's right hand, his most trusted ally, his chosen successor. In 2012, Chavez is dying of cancer. Everyone knows it. The nation holds its breath. In his final address to the Venezuelan people, Chavez makes an announcement. If I die, he says, vote for Nicolás Maduro. He is my choice. He will continue the revolution. On March 5, 2013, Hugo Chavez dies. Venezuela weeps. Millions take to the streets, and Nicolás Maduro, the former bus driver, becomes acting president of Venezuela. The special election comes quickly. April 14, 2013, Maduro runs against Enrique Capriles. It's close, very close, 62% to 49.12%. Maduro wins by a hair, but he wins. He's now the president of Venezuela, legitimately elected, holder of the largest oil reserves on earth, commander of the military, the most powerful man in the country. He marries Celia Flores 3 months later. They call her the first combatant, not the first lady. She becomes his closest advisor, his partner in everything, including prosecutors will later allege his crimes. But there's a problem. Maduro isn't Chavez. He doesn't have the charisma, he doesn't have the connection with the people, and the economy is falling apart. In 2014, oil prices collapse. Venezuela's economy is built on oil. Nothing else, just oil. When prices crash, so does everything. Inflation spirals, shortages begin, food, medicine, basic goods, empty supermarket shelves, bread lines stretching for blocks. The Venezuelan people are starving, but Maduro doesn't change course. He blames the Americans. Economic warfare, he calls it, imperialism, sabotage. He tightens his grip. Protests erupt. Maduro responds with force. The National Guard moves into the streets, tear gas, water cannons, rubber bullets that become real bullets. People die. The international community condemns him. Maduro doesn't care. He calls the protesters fascist demons. He doubles down. In 2015, the opposition wins control of the National Assembly. A rebuke of Maduro, a chance for change. Maduro's response? He creates a new constituent assembly packed with his loyalists. He strips power from the elected legislature, rules by decree. Democracy in Venezuela is dying. Some say it's already dead. In 2017, more protests erupt, bigger than before, the largest demonstrations in Venezuelan history. Maduro cracks down harder. Human rights organizations document arbitrary arrests, torture, and extrajudicial killings. The International Criminal Court opens an investigation into possible crimes against humanity. Maduro is unbothered. Venezuela has oil. Russia needs allies. China needs resources. He can outlast the pressure. That's what he believes. In 2018, another presidential election. The opposition boycotts. Their leaders are banned, jailed, exiled. Maduro runs virtually unopposed. He wins with 68% of the vote. The United States calls it a sham. Dozens of countries refuse to recognize the results. They recognize Juan Guaidó instead, the head of the National Assembly. They call him Venezuela's legitimate president. Maduro laughs. Guaidó has no army, no police, no control over anything. Maduro stays in power. In 2020, the Trump administration makes its move. Federal prosecutors in New York indict Maduro. Narco-terrorism, cocaine trafficking, conspiracy, weapons charges. They allege that Maduro partnered with Colombian rebels to flood the United States with cocaine. That he's the head of the Cartel of the Suns, Cartel de los Soles, a drug trafficking organization operating within the Venezuelan military. The reward for his capture is set at $15 million. Maduro dismisses it as desperate imperialism. He's not going anywhere. What are they going to do? He asks. Invade? In 2021, Joe Biden takes office. The pressure continues. But Maduro is still there, still in Miraflores, still giving speeches, still holding power. The Venezuelan people keep fleeing. 7 million will eventually leave, one of the largest displacement crises in the world. But Maduro remains. In July 2024, another presidential election. This time, the opposition puts forward Edmundo Gonzalez, a retired diplomat. Maria Corina Machado, the opposition's real leader, is banned from running. So she backs Gonzalez. The campaign is explosive. Massive crowds turn out for the opposition. Hope is in the air. Maybe this time, maybe finally. The vote happens. The government claims Maduro won. 51% to 44%, but the opposition has receipts. Actual paper receipts from voting machines. 80% of the tally sheets, they say. And according to their count, Gonzalez won in a landslide. 67% to 30%, protests erupt again, the largest yet. Statues of Chavez are toppled. The world watches. Maduro's response is predictable. Mass arrests. Over 2,000 detained. Torture. Disappearances. Gonzalez flees to Spain. Machado goes into hiding. Maduro is inaugurated for a third term on January 10, 2025. He compares himself to David fighting Goliath. He calls his enemies fascists. He says his power comes from the people same people who are starving, the same people who are fleeing, the same people whose votes he stole. On January 20th, 2025, Donald Trump returns to the White House for his second term. He hasn't forgotten about Maduro. He hasn't forgotten about Venezuela. And this time, he has a plan. The pressure campaign begins immediately. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Stephen Miller. They form a core team, daily meetings, sometimes multiple times a day. They meet with Trump, they meet without Trump. They're building something, nobody knows what yet. In August 2025, the bounty on Maduro increases. 25 million becomes 50 million. The Trump administration designates Cartel de los Soles as a foreign terrorist organization. Maduro, they say, is its leader. He's now on the same list as Al-Qaeda, as ISIS, as the Houthis. This isn't symbolic. This has legal implications. You can use military force against terrorist leaders. You don't need a declaration of war. The same month, something else happens. Something secret. The CIA sends a team into Venezuela, clandestine, covert. Their mission is to track Maduro, learn his patterns, his routine, his movements, his pattern of life. Where does he sleep? Where does he eat? Who guards him? How does he move? What are the vulnerabilities? The team goes dark. Nobody knows they're there, but they're watching. Every day, every night, waiting. In September 2025, the military buildup begins. 15,000 U.S. troops deploy to the Caribbean. The USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier arrives. Destroyers. Amphibious assault ships. The official reason is counter-narcotics operations. The real reason? Everyone knows. The strikes on drug boats begin. Vessels in the Caribbean, Eastern Pacific. The military claims they're carrying cocaine on behalf of the Venezuelan regime. At least 115 people are killed in these operations. Maduro protests. Aggression, imperialism, crimes against humanity. Nobody in Washington cares. In November 2025, Maria Corina Machado, still in hiding, meets with Trump's people in Miami at a business meeting. She makes promises. If Maduro falls, she says Venezuela will open its oil and gas reserves to American companies. Trump is interested. Venezuela has more oil than Saudi Arabia, more than Russia, more than anyone. It's just sitting there, waiting. The same month, something unprecedented happens. The Trump administration designates Maduro himself as a foreign terrorist organization leader. Not the cartel, Maduro personally. This is the legal foundation. This is what makes everything that follows possible. Under U.S. law, you can strike terrorist leaders. You don't need Congress. You don't need anyone's permission. You just need the intelligence. And the CIA has been gathering intelligence for months. In December 2025, the first strike inside Venezuela happens. A CIA drone hits a dock facility on the coast. Officials say it was used by drug traffickers to load narcotics onto boats. It's the first known U.S. attack on Venezuelan soil. Maduro is furious, but he doesn't retaliate. What can he do? His air force is a joke. His military is corrupt and underfunded. He has Russian support, but Russia is busy in Ukraine. Chinese support, but China won't risk a war with America. Cuba can barely feed its own people. Maduro is alone, and the noose is tightening. In late December 2025, Trump gives the go-ahead. The operation is approved. They call it Operation Absolute Resolve. Delta Force begins rehearsals, the most elite unit in the U.S. military. First Special Forces Operational Detachment Delta, based at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. They've done this before. Saddam Hussein in 2003. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi in 2019. Now it's Maduro's turn, but first they need a replica. Using intelligence from the CIA team on the ground, they build an exact copy of Maduro's safe house. Every room, every door, every wall. The same steel reinforcements, the same layout, the same safe room where Maduro plans to hide if everything goes wrong. They practice, over and over, breaking through doors, cutting through steel, neutralizing guards, grabbing the target, extracting. They time themselves. How fast can we do this? Faster, faster again. The soldiers are staged, ready to go. Waiting for one thing: the weather. On January 2nd, 2026, Trump is at Mar-a-Lago. He's waiting for the meteorologists. The skies over Caracas need to be clear. For 4 days, he's been ready. But the weather hasn't cooperated. Then, on the evening of January 2nd, the forecast changes. Clear skies expected overnight, perfect conditions. Trump makes the call. Go. At 10:46 p.m. Eastern Time on January 2nd, 2026, Trump gives the final authorization. From staging areas across the Caribbean, the operation begins. 150 aircraft are involved: F-22 Raptors, F-35 Lightning IIs, FA-18 Hornets, EA-18G Growlers, E-2 Hawkeyes, B-1 Lancers, Apache attack helicopters, Chinook transport helicopters, drones, reconnaissance aircraft, and the Night Stalkers. 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, the best helicopter pilots in the world. They've been doing this since 1981, Grenada, Panama, Somalia, Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria. They fly in the dark. They don't miss. At 1 a.m. Eastern Time on January 3rd, which is 2 a.m. local time in Caracas, the strikes begin. Explosions rock the capital. 7 major blasts: Generalissimo Francisco de Miranda Air Base, La Carlota Airport, Fort Tiuna, the largest military complex in Venezuela, Higuerote Airport. Secondary explosions light up the night. Anti-aircraft positions are destroyed before they can respond. Radar installations are gone. Communications are cut. The lights in Caracas go dark. Intentional. Trump will later brag about this. We have a certain expertise, he says. The city is blind, the military is paralyzed, nobody can see what's coming. Low-flying aircraft sweep through Caracas, residents wake up terrified. Some think it's an earthquake, some think it's a coup. Nobody knows what's happening. They run into the streets, they film on their phones, videos start appearing on social media, fires at military bases, helicopters everywhere. The sound of jets overhead. What is happening? Inside Miraflores Palace, chaos erupts. Guards are scrambling. Alarms are blaring. Maduro wakes up. He knows immediately. This is it. This is what he always feared. The Americans have come. He has seconds to make a decision. The safe room is 30 feet away. Steel walls, blast-proof doors, food and water for weeks. Communications equipment. If he can get inside, they'll never get him out. He runs. The Night Stalker helicopters are already landing. Delta Force operators pour out. They know exactly where to go. The CIA has been watching for months. Every door, every corridor, they move like ghosts. Guards are neutralized. No hesitation, no warning. The operators have done this in practice 100 times. Now they do it for real. Maduro reaches the safe room. The door is open. He just needs to close it, lock himself inside, wait for rescue that might never come. His hand reaches for the door, but they're faster. Delta Force operators flood the hallway. They see him. He sees them. For a moment, time stops. Then they move. Bum rushed, Trump will later say. They hit him before he can close the door. Maduro is on the ground, zip ties on his wrists, hood over his head. noise-canceling headphones. He can't see. He can't hear. The most powerful man in Venezuela is now a prisoner. Celia Flores is in the bedroom. She's taken too. Same treatment, hands bound, head covered, no ceremony, no dignity, just efficiency. Trump is watching from Florida, live feed, multiple angles. Like a television show, he will say later. Amazing thing, he sees them grab Maduro, he sees them take Flores, he sees the extraction begin. The helicopters are waiting. Rotors spinning. Delta Force moves the prisoners out. Into the aircraft, lifting off. Flying low over Caracas, then out over the Caribbean, gone. The entire assault takes less than 30 minutes from first explosion to extraction, that's it. A sitting president, a fortified compound, armed guards, gone in half an hour. At 3:29 a.m. Eastern Time, General Dan Kane, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, reports to the president. Helicopters are over open water. Maduro and Flores are aboard. Mission complete. No American casualties, no equipment lost. A couple of guys hit, Trump will say. But they're supposed to be in pretty good shape. We were prepared to do a second wave. But it was so lethal. Didn't have to. The helicopters head for the USS Iwo Jima, a Wasp-class amphibious assault ship waiting in the Caribbean. Maduro is brought aboard, still blindfolded, still in headphones. They put him in a gray Nike Tech sweatsuit, give him a flotation device, a water bottle. Trump will post the photo on Truth Social. Maduro sitting there, helpless, the man who defied America for 12 years. Now a trophy. At 4:21 a.m. Eastern Time, Trump posts the announcement. The United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolás Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. The world wakes up to the news. Social media explodes. Is this real? Did this actually happen? Fake videos start circulating. AI-generated images, confusion everywhere, but it's real. It happened. Back in Caracas, chaos reigns. Vice President Delcy Rodriguez appears on state television. She's frantic. "We don't know where the president is," she says. "We demand proof of life." She insists Maduro is still the legitimate president. But she's talking to no one. The palace is empty. The military is in disarray. Nobody knows who's in charge. Trump holds a press conference at Mar-a-Lago mid-morning Saturday. He's flanked by Rubio, Hegseth, General Kane. He's beaming. "This was spectacular," he says. "No nation in the world could achieve what America achieved yesterday." He invokes the Monroe Doctrine, says they've superseded it. They now call it the Donroe Doctrine. American dominance in the Western Hemisphere will never be questioned again. He talks about oil. Venezuela's oil business has been a bust, he says, total bust for a long period of time. "We're going to have our very large oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, going to spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, and start making money for the country." There it is, the reason, the prize, the largest oil reserves on Earth, now within reach. He talks about what comes next. "We're going to run the country," he says, essentially, "until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition." When asked about troops on the ground, he doesn't rule it out. "We are still poised," says Hegseth. "The president has options." Attorney General Pam Bondi announces the charges. A superseding indictment. Narco-terrorism conspiracy. Cocaine importation conspiracy. Weapons possession. Conspiracy to possess firearms and machine guns. Both Maduro and Flores will stand trial in the Southern District of New York, the same court that handled El Chapo, the same court that handled the Gambino family. Now they'll handle a former president. Maduro is transferred from the Iwo Jima to a Department of Justice aircraft, flown to Stewart International Airport north of New York City, then transported to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. He'll be arraigned Monday. Federal Court, Manhattan. Outside the detention center, crowds gather, some cheering, waving Venezuelan flags, some protesting, demanding his release. The Venezuelan diaspora is divided. Those who fled Maduro celebrate. Those who still support him rage, but it doesn't matter. He's in American custody now. The revolution is over. Across the United States, protests erupt. Washington, D.C., New York, Boston, Chicago, Los Angeles, signs reading "No war on Venezuela." U.S. hands off Latin America, chants about imperialism, oil. The same arguments that have been made for 100 years, but the operation is done. The man is captured. Nothing will undo that. The legal questions begin. Is this legal under U.S. law? Under international law? Critics point to the UN Charter, Article 2, Paragraph 4. All members shall refrain from the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state. This seems like a violation, a clear one. But the administration has an answer. Maduro isn't a legitimate president. He's a designated terrorist leader, head of a foreign terrorist organization. Under the 2001 authorization for use of military force, the president has broad authority to strike terrorist targets. No congressional approval required, no UN mandate needed. Just the stroke of a pen. And Trump signed it days ago. Senator Mike Lee gets off the phone with Rubio, posts on social media. This action likely falls within the president's inherent authority under Article 2 of the Constitution to protect U.S. personnel from an actual or imminent attack. The legal framework is thin, but it's there, enough to claim legitimacy. For now, the United Nations Security Council meets in emergency session. Venezuela's foreign minister demands condemnation, grave military aggression, violation of sovereignty. Many countries agree: Russia, China, Cuba, Nicaragua, Iran, Bolivia, Honduras. But the United States has veto power. Nothing will happen, nothing ever does. Maria Corina Machado emerges from hiding. She calls for the opposition to take power. Edmundo Gonzalez, she says, won the election. He should be president. But Gonzalez is in Spain, and the military hasn't switched sides. Not yet. The transition, if it happens, will be messy, complicated, uncertain. Trump doesn't care about the details. He got what he wanted. The dictator is gone. The oil is waiting, and he did it in 3 hours. From first strike to extraction, less than a full night's sleep, the fastest regime change in history. The morning after the raid, Venezuelans wake up to a new reality. Some are celebrating in the streets, dancing, crying tears of joy. The nightmare is over, they say. The dictator is gone. We can finally go home. Millions in exile dream of return, of seeing their families again, of rebuilding what was destroyed. Others are terrified. The Chavistas, the true believers, the ones who built their lives around the revolution. What happens to them now? Will there be purges, trials, revenge? The security forces who did Maduro's bidding, the bureaucrats who enabled the corruption, the businessmen who profited from the regime, they all have targets on their backs now, and no protector to shield them. In Washington, the political machine spins into action. Democrats demand briefings. Why weren't we informed? Where is the congressional authorization? Republicans celebrate. Finally, a president with backbone. Finally, someone who takes action. The debate splits along predictable lines, but the debate doesn't matter. What's done is done. Maduro is in custody. Venezuela is in chaos, and America is in charge. The stock markets react. Oil prices drop. The promise of Venezuelan crude flooding the market sends signals through the global economy. Energy traders recalculate. Shipping routes adjust. The geopolitics of oil shift overnight. One raid, one capture, and the entire world economy feels the tremor. In Moscow, Putin stays silent. He backed Maduro for years. Weapons, loans, political support. Now his ally is in chains. There's nothing he can do. Russia is too weak, too distracted. Ukraine, sanctions, internal problems. He can issue statements, But statements don't rescue dictators. In Beijing, the reaction is measured. China has billions invested in Venezuela, oil contracts, infrastructure deals, loans that may never be repaid. They calculate their losses, they plan their next moves, but they don't confront America, not over Venezuela, not over this. Some battles aren't worth fighting. In Havana, the regime trembles. Cuba depended on Venezuelan oil, subsidized, discounted, essential. Without it, the island economy collapses. And if America took Maduro, who's to say they won't come for Havana next? The Monroe Doctrine is back. The Donroe Doctrine, Trump calls it. American dominance in the Western Hemisphere will never be questioned again. Cuba heard that message, loud and clear. The lawyers are already preparing, both sides. Maduro's defense team will argue jurisdiction, sovereignty, due process, the illegality of the capture, fruit of the poisonous tree. You can't kidnap someone and then try them. That's not how law works. But this is the Southern District of New York. They've heard these arguments before. From drug lords, from terrorists, from everyone who thought they were untouchable. Nobody is untouchable. That's the lesson of January 3rd, 2026. The prosecution will present their evidence, years of investigation, wiretaps, informants, bank records from shell companies, testimony from defectors, the paper trail of the Cartel of the Suns, cocaine shipments tracked across the Caribbean, weapons flowing to Colombian rebels, money laundering through dozens of countries. It's a massive case. It will take years to try. But they have time. Maduro isn't going anywhere. And what about Celia Flores, the first combatant, the woman behind the man? Prosecutors say she's as guilty as he is, maybe more. She controlled the money. She made the deals. She protected the network. Will she flip? Will she testify against her husband? That's what prosecutors want. That's what prosecutors always want. In the end, everyone breaks. Everyone talks. Everyone tries to save themselves. It's just a matter of time. The story of Nicolás Maduro is the story of Venezuela itself, a country blessed with resources, cursed with leadership. The oil that should have made everyone rich instead made a few people obscenely wealthy while millions starved. The revolution that promised equality delivered only suffering. And the man who was supposed to continue Chávez's legacy became a caricature of everything wrong with power unchecked. He started as a bus driver. He ended as a prisoner. The journey between those 2 points spans 40 years of Venezuelan history. From the streets of Caracas to the halls of power, from union meetings to international summits, from the embrace of Chávez to the cell block in Brooklyn, a life that seemed improbable at every turn. And yet, it happened. All of it happened. Now it's over. The Maduro era is finished. What comes next is uncertain. Venezuela faces a crossroads: democracy or chaos, healing or revenge, unity or fragmentation. The choices made in the coming weeks will determine the fate of 30 million people, and America will be watching. Because America is invested now in the outcome, in the oil, in the message sent to the world. 12 years of ruling Venezuela, stealing elections, crushing dissent, starving his people, enriching himself. Flooding America with cocaine, prosecutors say, building a narco-state. And in the end, it took 30 minutes for the most elite soldiers in the world to drag him out of his palace in his pajamas. Because that's what he was, a criminal in a presidential sash. Now he's just a defendant. Case number pending. Southern District of New York. Did America win? They got what they wanted. The dictator, the oil, the message. Don't mess with us, don't defy us. We can reach you anywhere, anytime, even in your own palace, even in the dead of night. That's a victory. Of sorts. Did Venezuela win? That's the hardest question. Maduro is gone. The oppressor is removed. But what comes next? Who fills the vacuum? Will the opposition take power? Will the military hold together? Will there be chaos? Civil war? American occupation? The Venezuelan people have suffered for decades. Will this be the beginning of something better? Or just a new chapter of suffering? Nobody knows. Not Trump, not Rubio, not Machado. Nobody. History will judge this moment, years from now, decades from now, when the consequences have fully played out, when we know what Venezuela became after the night of January 3rd, 2026. But for now, there's just the image. Maduro on the USS Iwo Jima, blindfolded, defeated, the bus driver who became a dictator, the dictator who became a prisoner, captured in 3 hours by the most powerful military on earth. That's the story. That's how it happened. That's how Maduro was captured in 3 hours.